It's Tyler again hitting you up. In this video, we're going to be talking about what do you do if you want to try a new 40K army, but you just don't have the money to invest. So I got this really unique product for y'all that's been around a while. I bought it 2 years ago. It's been out even a little longer. I don't know how long it was in beta on the Steam store, but y'all really need to check out Tabletop Simulator, and I'm gonna tell you why right now. So Tabletop Simulator, what it essentially is a simulator that simulates a tabletop. You can play card games, you can play board games, chess, you name it. But obviously being a simulator for board games, you could then play Warhammer 40K, right? And you would be right. So valuable time can be spent and money not wasted by trying out armies in this tabletop simulator. And a lot of people have invested a lot of time, God bless them, I wouldn't be able to even know where to start, in creating 3D models of quite a bit of 40K troops. For example, there's pretty much the entire Tyranid line, both Forge World and the regular 40K models. The Imperial Guard, there's just ungodly amounts of stuff on there. Some Dark Eldar, I think every Eldari model is on there as well. So what you essentially do is you set up this tabletop simulator, and it comes with all sorts of terrain that you can download from the Steam Workshop, and you can import your models, save which models that you want to your certain armies, and then you load up a game and you can do it multiplayer. So I could be here at my place and Josh could be there at his place. We could both be running Tabletop Simulator and have a game of 40K. Alternatively, what Josh and I used to do is we used to sit in the living room on my laptop and play some Tabletop Simulator, and we'd take turns. I'd be playing my troops, he'd be playing his troops, just like we were in actual tabletop, but it was on the computer. You roll dice, you can draw cards, you play like a normal 40K game, and it's pretty awesome. The best thing about it is you can try armies that you otherwise wouldn't be spending a lot of money on, otherwise you would be spending a lot of money on, and you're not by trying them out here. So it's just pretty cool. It's one-off games here and there to try new armies, and if you really like something, then you can go ahead and buy those models. Josh and I play frequently on it. It's just a way to play armies that we're not really interested in buying otherwise. The downside is, though, is it's not super user-friendly. I mean, it gets the job done. Games do take a little bit longer, because what I mean by not user-friendly is you're clicking and dragging, and you can shake dice and whatnot and throw them, and it's really cool and it's really well done. It just takes a little bit longer. Some of the physics are a little bit wonky, like you can't set a model just the way you want it, and the way you get around it is, I believe the key is T. So if you want to like lock a model in a position so it doesn't fall over, and you click T or L or whatever it is, and it stays in that position. And just make sure that when you're playing, you turn off the ability to flip the table. One of the features in Tabletop Simulator is if you get frustrated or whatever, you can just click a key and just toss the table. It's funny and makes a good time. So we're gonna roll into some footage of me playing here in a minute. I just want to mention also there is VR support for it if you have a virtual reality headset. It's unique in that it puts you there and everything is scale as it would be in a real 40K game. The controls are even worse, but it's a unique experience. I guess if you wanted to play by yourself, I wouldn't do it with another player. It gets way too clunky that way, but it is a unique experience. So with that being said, we're going to roll into some footage of some examples of what I've got going in Tabletop Simulator and a little bit of how to set it up. So here's the Tabletop Simulator. The first thing we're going to do is go into the workshop, and I'm going to show you how to import content into the game itself. So you go up here to the search bar and you enter any of your search terms, your factions or specific models that you're looking for, and you click enter, and it'll bring up the workshop content created for the game. All you have to do, this is Shadespire. It looks like it's more of a new model set. You click the little plus icon to subscribe to it, and it'll automatically download it into the game. You can see examples of everything that you can put in the game, and this just scratches the surface. So we're going to go ahead and launch it. As you can see, it does have VR support. I do have a Vive headset index, but we're not going to do that. We're just going to go into the normal mode here. Alright, so you can join multiplayer games if you wanted to create a multiplayer game, play with somebody else, but I usually play locally, and two people just share the same monitor. So you go in here, and then the workshop is obviously where you're going to find all your workshop content. You can see everything that I've currently got loaded. I'm going to go ahead and open up the Shadespire that we just, Shadow Spear, I was saying Shadespire, yeah. The Shadow Spear set that I imported into the game. As you can see, the models here, and it's got a little base diagram that comes with this particular set of assets so that you can make sure that the scale's right for the game. Then we're going to zoom in a little bit here and check out some of these models. As you can see, they're pretty darn detailed for basically free assets to load into the game. Just trying to remember the controls. You're going to use WASD to move forward and backwards, side to side. You use, you right click on your mouse and drag up and down to change the elevation, and then you zoom with your scroll wheel. Just checking out the detail on the models. Pretty darn good, I'll have to admit. This is the first time I'm looking at them. So somebody had to create these. I don't even know where you would create them, and then overlay the textures on top of it. So in order to play these in a game, you can do two things. You can just load up the assets inside the game itself. However, what I do is I create little saved packs. So you put all the models that you're going to want in the particular army you're going to play as aside, and then you right click and you save objects into your bins is what I call them. So you see I'm going up here and go to saved objects. And then you find the folder in which you want to save them to. So to create a new folder, you go into, let's see if I can find the right menu, I just had it. It's been a while since I've played. Saved objects. And then you can create new import files so that you can quickly upload the models that you want in your army into each game. So we're going to label this Space Marines, create, and then drag over what you want, right click, save object, and it'll actually save all of them that you have selected. And I'm just going to rename it. Then we're going to go in to the main menu. You don't need to do anything else. And we're going to load up a map. And you would load up a map the same way you would load up each individual models. They come in packs that you can find on the workshop. We're going to open this one. And sometimes textures aren't updated as maps are older. The creators don't update them. So some of the assets don't load all the way. It's fine, you just click import until you notice they're not importing anymore, and then you just exit out the rest of them. So there are decks in this particular board. They're not updated to 8th edition, but you can you can download from the workshop updated decks for 8th edition. Everything from stratagems to tactics, objective cards, even faction-specific objective cards. The sky's the limit, really. Everything is available on there. And everything that you see that's on this board, including the separate desks for each player, are included when you upload the asset from the Steam Workshop. As you can see, you can rotate everything around. You've got turn markers, counters, everything that you need, you name it. You can go into components if you want to add more assets, like more dice or counters. I use checkers to do like stratagems and tactic points. And you can see the other side has a matching board. And so in order to actually upload the models that we did save earlier, you just go into your objects and then you click on what you want and it'll automatically drop them in. So there's the models that we had. Just bring them over here. Then bring in some more for the other side, because why not? We'll go into Astra Militarum. You just start clicking and it's going to place down in the center of the field all the models that you click. And why not? Bring this all over here. So you notice the unique thing about some of the tanks is they're actually can hold models, and then the way you do that is you can actually hold left click to move the model itself. However, if you just single click, you can move models out of it. So to put models in it, you just pick up a model that can be transported, hover over it, and it'll drop it in there. And then to take the model out, you just single click and drag, and it will remove the models from the transport like this. Now, you can actually, when you're placing these, everything is physics-based, so models can tip over, you can rotate models, you can set them on various elevations in the terrain. As I'm playing with this, I'm trying to get them to get knocked over. They do have a little bit of weight to them, so kind of hard to knock them over. Let's get in there. Come on. Fall over. Oh, there you go. So then when I pick this up, sometimes you get models upside down. Click F on your keyboard and it'll flip it right side up, and boom, you're good to go. Also, another thing you'll notice, sometimes models might fall off. To correct wobbly model syndrome, you click L, and what that's going to do is it's going to lock them in place. And you can also, you see how he's lifted off the ground? You can suck them towards the ground by, when you're holding left click, hold right click as well on the mouse, and then L to lock them in place. And there you go. Solution for wobbly model syndrome. To undo it, you just click L again, and you're good to go. Another feature that I like to point out is what's called the weight, or the lift distance, when you click a model, how far off the ground it goes. And that's adjusted with this slider here. Set that back down. So with dice, I'm just going to highlight 6 dice here. There are a couple of ways that you can roll dice. You can actually shake them with the mouse and release them. And they go off the distance. Or the second thing that you can do is you can actually set dice down. And I'm going to bring them over to the board. You can set them down, and if you actually click R with them all highlighted, they'll roll themselves. With decks of cards, am I going to flip it over? With decks of cards, you can shuffle, you can split, you can just draw cards like normally. It's just like being in real life, except it's on a table. Funny, like a tabletop simulator, if you will. And we're just skipping in. I wanted to show you a couple other things. I loaded up the Astra Militarum pack that I have, and you just see all the detail in some of these models and how many models they are. You can see there's a couple models in there in the center that the skins or the texture packs haven't been updated, so that's why they look white. One of the things I do want to show here is if you notice a model might be out of scale, you can adjust that, and you right click You go down to scale and you can click up or down, and that'll adjust the scale of the model. And we're back in the Steam Workshop. I just wanted to show a couple other examples of some of the armies that you can get in here. Literally, you can get pretty much any 40k army in there. Just had Necrons up there. Got White Scars here. The work that people put into this is just absolutely amazing. And then the last thing I wanted to show you guys was Genestealer Cult's assets that I found in the Steam Workshop. This is a really impressive detail. Again, I can't imagine how it's done, but thank God it's done, because now I can play Genestealer Cults with my boy Josh. And Keegan, if you're watching this, get Tabletop Simulator, and we'll hit it up. It's gonna be awesome. I love this. It's, the detail, absolutely amazing. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to like, share, subscribe. Drop a comment of something that you'd like to see, and if you want to get Tabletop Simulator, it's on Steam and it's a good buy. You can use it just for about any type of game that you can imagine. Alright guys, I'll check you in the next video.